Good morning. Welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. I'm thinking about Christmas cooking and all the yummy desserts that people have, and I was trying to think what is my absolute favorite cake. And mine is German chocolate. And I've made one with the 3 layers and it's the best. But in my volume 3 cookbook, which is my recipes and my friends and family shared theirs also, Carol Wallace, who is the sweetest young lady in our church, she shared some recipes, and I have a feeling this is from her grandmother, Miss Betty Brown. But it's a German chocolate upside down cake. So just for us to eat, I'm going to try this because it sounds so simple. Now the recipe said to spray a 9 by 13 inch dish, and I've done that. And then it says to take 1 cup of flaked coconut and 1 cup of chopped pecans. And I use Whaley's pecans in Troy, Alabama. Many of you ask, how do I get them? Just go to whaleypecan.com and you can order, and they ship very quick. So I'm just going to mix this, the coconut and the pecans, and I'm going to sprinkle this in the bottom of my pan. Just sprinkle it real good, and I've sprayed it, so okay. Now the next step is to use a German chocolate cake mix and go by the directions on the back. So I'm going to empty that in my mixing bowl. And the recipe says to put 1 1/4 cup of water, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. I don't want to spill it. Okay. And 3 eggs. Now I'm going to mix that. The last German chocolate layer cake I made, I used the cake pot, this cake mix for the cake pot. It was delicious to me. I have made it where I use the chocolate squares, and of course that's the by scratch method. But y'all, I'm telling you, this is just as good to me and a lot less trouble. I'm gonna get this off the sides. Okay, I'm gonna mix it a little bit more. While this is mixing, I want to tell you, this is one of my Christmas shirts that says True Story with a nativity in the O. People stop me when I wear it and tell me how much they like it. And if you'd like to order one for you or for a friend, you can go to my website, mamasuesouthernkitchen.com. And that's where you can also order my cookbooks, and I have 3 cookbooks right now. I had so many people ask me last weekend at the Arts and Crafts Show in Louisiana, which is my favorite. I had a hard time answering them because they're all good. Okay. Now I'm going to pour this over the coconut and the pecans. We've got another step to go. So I'm going to leave this here. And I'm going to go over to my stove. And Carol, if you want to come around. I'm going to put a stick of butter. I'm using salted butter. You can use your preference. I'm going to let that begin to melt. And then I'm going to add 8-ounce cream cheese to it. I didn't let it soften because I knew I was going to put it in here to melt. And when this melts, I will add 2 cups of powdered sugar. Tell you what, we will come back when this melts and I'll show you. Okay, this has melted. You can see that the cream cheese and the butter has melted. So I'm going to use my mixer and just kind of mix that together. And the last thing that I'm going to do is put 2 cups of powdered sugar. It's 1. And that's 2. Let's mix that. Start your beater low. Okay, now it says to just spoon this over the top. the recipe doesn't say to swirl it in like sometimes you have to do cinnamon. I feel like this will just probably cook down in it. But I want to get every bit of this. Now I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. Get all of that goodness. Okay. And the recipe says, I think, to cook it 35 to 45 minutes. But like always, I'll tell you exactly how long I cooked it. Okay, the cake baked for 38 minutes. The recipe said between 35 and 40 minutes. And I checked it, and it is absolutely yummy looking. Smells yummy. Remember, if you have my volume 3, it's on page 48, and it's German chocolate upside down cake. I'm gonna taste this because it's my favorite, and I'll let you know. Very good. It's not the exact taste of a homemade German chocolate cake that's frosted, but it is very good, much easier. I'll be making this again, and I for sure will be eating the rest of this. But remember, it's in volume 3, and if you don't have one and would like to have one, go to MamaSue'sSouthernKitchen.com and you'll find out how to order the cookbooks or my shirts. Remember to be salt and light. You know, Harold and I have been talking during our Bible readings in the morning about if we have God's Word in us, it helps us to not give in to the fleshly desires, the worldly desires. You're going to always be fighting flesh against spirit. But the Word says, Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I may not sin against you. So hide God's Word in your heart. Get it in you every day, because Satan is going to try to tempt you. Be salt and light, and I'll be back soon.